support me, or there's no point.
One sarsaparilla in a clean glass, as requested.
Final question. Which ancient civilization's gold filigreed adornments were an inspiration for jewelers in the reign of Queen Victoria?
The Greeks. I'm sorry, I mean the Romans. The Greco-Romans.
I'm sorry, no. Yes, Miss Kate.
The Etruscans.
I was going to say the Assyrians.
Wrong.
The Etruscans.
Correct.
So glad you joined the team, Mavis.
And with that last bonus question, we have the pugnacious police in third, the learned ladies in second, and once again, the know-it-alls in first place. Congratulations. See you all next week for another esoteric evening of miscellany matchup.
And don't forget to fill out your entry tests for Toronto's Smartest Man.
Sponsored by Mr. Colwyn of Colwyn's Complete Cyclopedia.
That's right. No home is complete without a set of Colwins.
Higgins, you need to keep your mouth shut unless you're certain of the answer.
Sir, I'm pretty sure that was the right answer.
Where's Murdoch tonight, anyway? We'll be a lot better team with him involved.
I understood that the detective usually doesn't take an interest in such frivolous events.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Third place isn't so bad. A respectable showing.
I'm surprised the ladies managed to best you. They aren't the most challenging of competition.
We've been neck and neck every week.
That we take pity on you, you mean?
Oh, please. You're so conceited, you pretend even your mistakes are on purpose.
An ad hominem attack. I'd expect no better from a woman. An ad hominem attack.
I know what it means.
Be sure to finish up the contest entry tests. My son Dean is coming around to collect them.
Try your luck, gentlemen. Toronto's Smartest Man might be here in this very room.
Higgins, you're having a laugh.
You call that a test?
Thanks for coming, Murdoch. We've all had a few. We thought it would be a good idea if we had a steady hand at the wheel.
The man's fallen ill, then.
Victor Fordham. Apparently a severe allergic reaction.
Oh. Well, not poison, then. But you don't believe it was an accident either.
Well, we did at first, until Mr. Ryan informed us that Fordham's shellfish allergy is common knowledge.
And he was a terrible person. Someone may have intentionally contaminated his glass.
Mr. Ryan.
Detective.
I understand you knew of Mr. Fordham's shellfish allergy?
Of course, sure, he never shut up about it. Especially since I got these new clam juice dispensers in.
Oh?
With these, I can fix all the latest clam beverages. Hot clam soda, ginger clam juice, hot clam cream. It's a vile craze, but it sells.
Is it possible, then, that some of this clam juice accidentally made its way into Mr. Fordham's glass?
Not a chance. He ordered bottled sarsaparilla that I poured into a clean glass. I saw him after he took a sip. He was fine.
The bar cleared out after Mr. Fordham's medical episode.
But, sir, everyone who was here will be at the Toronto Smartest Man competition tomorrow. You should think about entering, sir. It's being held at the book fair.
Pursuit of knowledge shouldn't be a contest.
The prize is $1,000.
And a full set of encyclopedias. Imagine all the world's knowledge at your fingertips.
Encyclopedias.
Welcome to Toronto's Pedagogical Book Fair.
We at Colwyn's Complete Cyclopedia are proud sponsors of this week's events, especially the search for Toronto's smartest man. Dean, my boy, come up here. Colwyn's Complete Cyclopedia.
Founded by my grandfather, Tobias Colwyn, in
1870.
Yes, 1870, and now on the
The third edition of Colwyn's Complete Cyclopedia is the preeminent compendium to ignite the light of learning.
Buy volume 1 now, from aardvarks to azurites.
But a subscription plan is the best value for the full set. And now the main event. Only 5 perfect tests were submitted by
Francois Boudreau, Ved Srinivasan, William Murdoch.
So you did enter. Well done, Detective.
Victor Fordham, and F. Newsom.
These 5 contestants will vie for the crown of Toronto's smartest man. Are you lost, my dear?
No. Fiona Newsom. F. Newsom.
A woman? Oh, no. This will never do.
I beg your pardon?
Well, it's in the name, ma'am. Toronto smartest man. Thank you. Maybe we could go to the next highest.
Yes. Dr. Glenn Price.
And I believe that Mr. Fordham went to hospital last night.
Oh, in that case, the alternate for Mr. Fordham will be...
Stop right there. I'll be damned if I'm kept out of this competition.
Very well, then. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay and browse the books while we prepare the stage for an exciting battle of wits.
Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Colwyn.
Detective William Murdoch, Toronto Constabulary.
Have you caught the villain who did this to me?
Not yet, but I was wondering, do you know who may have wanted to do this to you?
I'd say most of my competitors dislike me. That's what happens when you're the best. Maybe that tall woman on the ladies' team, Miss Gruesome or some such. Quite competitive, and she definitely doesn't like me.
Anyone else?
No. Although, last night, Ved did say he hoped I'd drop dead.
The sign is quite clear, my dear.
This is absurd. Women are the intellectual equal to men in every way.
Mr. Colwyn, Miss Newsom here plays in a weekly miscellany game against myself and Mr. Fordham.
Thank you, Professor Srinivasan.
And she habitually loses. She isn't a serious contestant.
I got a perfect score on the entry test, the same as you.
There's no need for raised voices.
If I may, Miss Newsom lives in my neighborhood. She has recently been left by her husband and is no doubt emotional. Competition might not be advisable given her fragile state.
I am not emotional, and sir, you're a chiropodist, not a psychiatrist.
Nevertheless, I think Dr. Price has a point, don't you, my dear?
Just how did you get along with Mr. Fordham? I understand you told him you wished he would drop dead.
He called me a fool for saying Montevideo is the capital of Paraguay.
It's Asunción. Montevideo is Uruguay.
I know that now. Look, we bicker from time to time. I certainly didn't put clam juice into his drink.
Detective. The name's Boudreau.
Mr. Boudreau? Were you at the miscellany matchup the other night?
No.
Then how can I...
Do you remember getting me sent to jail 10 years ago?
The name does ring a bell.
Well, your name does a little bit more than that for me. I spent 10 years locked up, reading every book that I could find, familiarizing myself with the law, the arts, and the sciences, waiting for the day that I could throw your supposed genius back in your face.
Well, then, how lovely that you've been afforded that opportunity.
I'm gonna beat you, detective, no matter what it takes. Teddy, have a look at this.
X-ray glasses can see through skin and clothing. Imagine how useful those would be. For what? Police work. Henry, I don't think that's a real product. You know what you always say to me, that be careful in the big city. Everyone's a swindler. Oh, this is different. This is in the newspaper. Don't waste their money. The company probably won't even send the glasses. It's too late. I already ordered a pair last week.
The Colwins should just hand the prize over to Murdoch and be done with it.
As brilliant as Detective Murdoch is, you can't be certain he'll win. There are many different types of intelligence, after all.
Oh, that's rubbish. You're either bright or you're dim. And I know a sure thing when I see it.
Attention all! The moment has arrived. Together, we will answer the question, who is Toronto's smartest man?
Envelopes with the daily challenges and their solutions are locked in this safe. Each day, I'll open a new one. Contestants will earn points.
Which will be tallied by the lovely Miss Ontario Wheat. And at the end of the week, we will have our champion. Now, in this briefcase is the $1,000 cash prize for the winner. And so, let round one begin.
The sum of the first 5 prime numbers.
28.
Express the golden ratio to 3 decimal points.
1.618.
Projectile motion.
Kirchhoff's diffraction formula.
729.
Russell's paradox.
And this is it, gentlemen. The final question of the round, worth 5 bonus points. If a train leaves Montreal at 9 a.m., traveling at 60 miles per hour, and another train leaves Toronto at the same time, traveling at 50 miles per hour, when will the 2 trains intersect on the 333-mile journey?
12:16 p.m.
No, that's not right.
At 12:01 p.m. and 20 seconds.
That is the correct answer, sir.
It is not. All trains traveling on the Grand Trunk Railway between Montreal and Toronto hold for precisely 15 minutes at Kingston.
It's a hypothetical question, sir.
Take that, Murdoch.
Civility, gentlemen. Today's round goes to Professor Srinivasan. And please join us tomorrow for round 2.
A worthy set of opponents.
Better look next time, Murdoch.
Luck has nothing to do with it. That was a misleading question.
Oh, dear.
Some workers found him this morning.
That's Professor Srinivasan. He's still wearing yesterday's clothes. His boutonniere. This is the back of the book fair. He must have been on his way home.
Well, I guess this means he won't be winning Toronto's smartest man. The building is undergoing repairs to the cornice. Some of the brickwork was crumbling.
So he was killed by falling masonry.
Yes, but workers had already removed the loose bricks. I think this masonry was dropped deliberately.
Is the roof accessible?
All too easily, just up the main staircase.
Huh. So Professor Srinivasan exits the building, pleased with his win, and was then struck down by falling masonry thrown from the roof.
So it would seem. You think it's related to the competition?
I suppose it's possible.
Professor Srinivasan is dead?
I'm afraid so.
Pop, maybe we should call off the contest?
Nonsense. It occurred directly behind the venue, Mr. Colwyn.
And 2 nights ago, Mr. Fordham had a near-deadly brush with clam juice. He's highly allergic.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't see how either of these incidents are connected to the contest.
Nevertheless, I will be questioning all of the contestants before we proceed.
Pop,
Gentlemen, either you let me compete, or I intend to sue.
Well, it's Toronto's smartest man. There's nothing you can do about that.
Aren't man and mankind commonly used to refer to the whole of the human race? Why should this competition be any different?
You wouldn't win in court.
Maybe so, but it'd throw a wrench in your contest all the same.
Mr. Fordham, where were you following the competition last evening?
I believe I was the first to leave. You probably saw me. I went straight out the front door.
And where did you go?
Home. I still wasn't feeling well. Probably why I didn't win round 1.
Can anyone vouch for you after you left the venue? Did anyone see you?
When I went home alone? No.
I'm afraid not. I am a bachelor detective. Although, when I left the venue, I did see Mr. Boudreau speaking with Professor Srinivasan. And then I saw Mr. Boudreau hurrying upstairs.
Upstairs? Are you sure?
Yes, yes. I thought it quite strange.
And just what were Mr. Boudreau and the professor discussing?
I didn't hear, and I wouldn't dare eavesdrop.
I talked to no one. I saw no one. I got home and read legal treatises on prisoners' rights.
Mr. Boudreau, you were the last person seen talking to Professor Srinivasan, and you were seen rushing upstairs afterward.
But I had to find the bathroom. Prison food has given me the flaflat. Digestion issues.
What were you and the professor talking about?
I was merely offering my sincere congratulations. He played brilliantly. Unlike some.
Upon further consideration, Miss Effie Newsom will be permitted to compete.
Still so sure Detective Murdoch will win now that Miss Newsom has entered the fray? She's a worthy rival.
Oh, I doubt that very much.
Come now. We've both seen her competitive side. Sometimes a contest comes down to just how much someone wants to win.
Just how much, eh? How about the two of us have a little wager? Say $2?
Make it 5.
No.
Oh, Detective. You might not want to do so well this round. Remember what happened to Professor Srinivasan.
I remember, Inspector, and I'm here to get to the bottom of it.
Oi, Choy.
And now for round 2.
It makes octopus blood blue.
Hemocyanin.
Queen of both England and France.
Eleanor of Aquitaine.
Classical epics were written in which poetic meter?
Dactylic hexameter.
Which Scottish-Canadian inventor and engineer is known as the father of standard time?
Sir Sanford Fleming.
The calcaneus bone.
Final challenge for round 2 for 5 bonus points. If ES equals 14 and JZ equals 16, what does LW equal?
Excuse me, sirs?
Quiet through the auditorium, please.
Oh, but...
A solve!
LW equals 11.
Care to explain for the audience?
Of course. Completing the pattern, 11 is the number of alphabetical spaces between L and W.
Well done. The quick-witted Miss Newsom is the winner of this deceptively simple round.
Mr. Boudreau, I saw you cheating. You were a safecracker who worked with armed robbers. You stole the solution from the Colwyn safe.
So you do remember me. I was a safecracker, yes.
But I was only pretending to cheat.
Why?
As a distraction, to ensure that you didn't win. And you fell for it. Who's smarter now, detective?
Roberts, guess what's come in the mail?
A letter from Constable Crabtree.
Oh, yes. He says he's doing well in St. John's. He's even made his first arrest, a moose poacher. But no, this, look, my X-ray spectacles. Told you it was a real company.
Wow, I guess I was wrong.
Don't feel too bad, Teddy. No one expects you to go from country bumpkin to city sophisticate overnight. This doesn't make sense. They're supposed to see through skin and clothing, but all I see is my hand.
Could I give them a try?
Of course.
Whoa. My own bones. Unbelievable.
Well?
I'm a gentleman, Henry.
Professor Srinivasan was single and kept to himself apart from his weekly miscellany game. No enemies to speak of, so I decided to look into the others as well. Mr. Fordham works in investments. Dr. Price runs a... I can't read this, do you?
Fool.
I beg your pardon? Foot clinic. Runs a foot clinic. And Mr. Boudreau has had trouble finding employment since his release from prison.
Well, that could be a strong motivator to win the prize. Let's look next into Mr. Boudreau.
He wasn't at miscellany matchup.
No, but he is a known criminal, and he was seen going upstairs at the book fair.
You know, the only contestant who was present on the side of both attacks was Miss Newsom.
Yes, but...
She is quite competitive.
And she did dislike both victims, hated them even.
And she's smart enough to have coordinated the attack.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for that. Just to be clear, I didn't attack anybody, but I do believe somebody may be trying to poison me. I found these on my doorstep after yesterday's competition.
For a very pretty lady from her secret admirer.
Yes. I inspected the chocolates and found pinprick marks on the bottom of each of them. I think they're injection points.
Do you always inspect presents so carefully?
I was suspicious. I haven't received a romantic gift in quite some time.
Smell that? Scent of pears.
A bit exotic for a basic box of bonbons.
I believe these were injected with chloral hydrate. Let's have a look at that card.
Typed message, no handwriting.
There's a flower in the design. It is a poppy.
I know where these came from.
Well, I'm not in the habit of selling poison.
Of course not.
Do you recall who purchased the chocolates? Likely yesterday afternoon.
You do excellent business, sir. I must have sold at least a dozen chocolate boxes after lunch yesterday.
Do you remember typing this message on the card?
Yes. A man purchased this box.
What did he look like?
A man. Normal. Not particularly attractive or unattractive. Height. Average. Voice. Audible. And he's standing right behind you.
Dr. Price.
Yes?
Dr. Price, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of Effie Newsom.
I left the chocolates and the note, but I never poisoned them. This is some sort of terrible mistake.
Why did you send them to Miss Newsom?
I sent harmless chocolates to Miss Newsom. I was merely expressing my burgeoning romantic feelings for that tall, mouthy brainiac.
It's not very expressive to leave an anonymous card.
Well, I had some qualms about signing my name. She seems to dislike me. I had hoped, after some gallant gestures, to eventually step forward as her suitor.
I think that you're the one who dislikes Miss Newsom. You're worried she'll beat you in this competition, and that's why you poisoned the chocolates with chloral hydrate.
Nonsense. I'm not afraid of a little competition. Tell me, was she pleased to receive the chocolates before the poison and such?
As a doctor, you also had access to a syringe.
Those can be acquired at any apothecary, as can the chloral hydrate. You needn't even be a medical man. I left them on her doorstep before she arrived home from the competition. They were wrapped in purple paper. Someone else must have seen them and done something to them.
Purple paper?
Yes, with a pink bow. You know, the kind of frippery women like.
All right, give it up already. You're having me on about the glasses. You must be.
I'm not having you on. You're very mistrustful.
No, I know when I'm being fooled.
I'm not fooling you.
What's all the fuss? Constable Roberts refuses to stop this childish prank he's been playing.
What prank? Explain.
Well, Constable Higgins bought some x-ray glasses he found in the newspaper.
And they don't work, but he's been pretending that they do.
Let me see.
Astounding! Is that a healed fracture on your forearm, Roberts?
It is. I broke it falling out of a tree when I was 7.
The chocolates were from Dr. Price? I knew he hated me.
On the contrary, I believe he's quite fond of you.
Oh, good Lord.
Tell me, what did the wrapping on this box of chocolates look like?
There was no wrapping paper.
No purple paper.
None.
Oh, that supports Dr. Price's story that someone must have tampered with this box of chocolates after the delivery.
So he'll be back in the competition?
I suppose so.
Well, I look forward to trouncing him.
I hope you're happy. You've kept my patients waiting. I have people who depend on me for their well-being.
I trust their feet will make a full recovery.
Good day, detectives.
I take it he isn't our culprit?
It doesn't look that way. And he wasn't at the miscellany matchup.
Shouldn't we shut down the competition?
I believe we should continue. It may lead us to a culprit.
I agree. And of course, you still want the opportunity to win.
I'd like to stay close to the suspects.
Either way, it will be all hands on deck for the competition tomorrow. We've got to keep everyone safe.
Well, I was thinking with everything that's happening, perhaps we should call off the competition.
Don't be ridiculous.
We've decided to allow the competition to continue, albeit with police supervision. I'll keep you posted.
Much appreciated, Detective.
Two at the front, two at the back.
And now, with all 5 round 3 bonus points at stake, our competitors must assemble a mystery item at their workstations. No instructions provided.
On my signal, the contestants will remove their drop cloths. And go.
Detective Murdoch looks like he's off to a quick start.
Does indeed.
Care to raise the stakes of our wager? Say double or nothing?
Right, you know. Although, Miss Newsom does seem a tad perplexed, wouldn't you say, Inspector?
Mr. Fordham believes he's done.
Mr. Fordham has successfully completed his battery circuit.
And Mr. Fordham is the winner of this round.
That's impossible. There is no way that anyone knows circuits better than William Murdoch. That man must be cheating.
Please, some civility, gentlemen.
Nobody knows batteries like Detective Murdoch.
I sincerely doubt Fordham subscribes to Circuits Quarterly. I've seen it on the detective's desk.
Empty your pockets. I suspect Mr. Fordham has a cheat sheet or a diagram of some sort secreted away.
You're a sore loser.
But fine.
Don't do it, Fordham. The police can't be trusted.
Know your rights. Don't make it easy on them.
I have nothing to hide. There we are. What is this? I've never seen this before.
A bottle of chloral hydrate solution, the same substance that was used in the attempt on Miss Newsom's life. Mr. Fordham, you are under arrest.
I don't know anything about any chocolate.
How did this poison get into your pocket?
I take off my jacket when I'm quizzing. It was hanging off the back of my chair.
You're saying it was planted?
Where were you after yesterday's round?
I don't even know where Miss Newsom lives. I could hardly have dropped off poisoned chocolates.
After the first day of competition, you say you went home. You could have snuck back in, climbed the stairs, and waited on the roof for Professor Srinivasan.
I could have, but I didn't. And why would I give myself clam juice at the miscellany game? I nearly died.
As a cover for the attacks to follow. I think you would do just about anything to win the title of Toronto's smartest man.
I think you're getting the two of us confused, Detective.
I want to know how you have been cheating.
I didn't.
May I have a word with you in private, Detective?
Did you notice he avoided telling us where he was last night? What is it, sir?
Are you quite sure that personal pride isn't playing a part in this investigation?
What do you mean?
Is it vanity that's making you so certain Fordham cheated?
Inspector, respectfully, I believe I am seeing things clearly. Fordham is cheating. And that malfeasance is somehow mixed in with these violent attacks. Something is going on here, and it isn't simply the fact that I am not the one winning.
Detective?
Mr. Colwyn, what can we do for you?
Well, I thought I'd better drop by and mention something about Mr. Fordham. He was with me when this business with the poison happened.
When was this?
Yesterday evening, wasn't it? Right after the competition. Mr. Fordham was helping me review mathematical calculations for the encyclopedia. He's one of our experts, you know, so he couldn't have used the poison.
Why did he not tell us this?
Well, I imagine your onstage accusation of him cheating with me may have made him a touch reticent.
It's time to release Mr. Fordham, Detective.
Still nothing? There must be something wrong with my eyes. Maybe I should call the doctor. What if he tells me that I'm slowly going blind?
Henry, hang up. I was joking.
I shouldn't call?
I've been pretending. The glasses don't work.
I knew it.
Take a closer look. There's a feather inside to create this sort of blurry effect.
So I got a defective pair.
The glasses themselves are a hoax, Henry. Sorry for playing along.
It's fine. I was playing along too.
Have you been up all night, Detective?
Yes. I found it extremely suspicious that Calvin Colwyn showed up here with an alibi for Mr. Fordham. The two of them must be colluding.
To cheat in the contest, or are you talking about the attacks?
It can't be a coincidence that all of this cheating and violent attacks have been running through this entire competition from the beginning. I'm convinced that they are connected. I just don't know how yet.
Right. And what's all this?
Oh, I've been trying to figure out exactly how Mr. Fordham has been cheating. Watts, do you recall when we coached Constable Crabtree through that chess game remotely so that he could win? For a case.
He had an earpiece through which he received instructions?
Yes. That got me thinking. What if Mr. Colwyn has some high-level technology hidden within his briefcase?
Like what?
I thought you'd never ask. I've noticed that Mr. Fordham's workstation is nearest to where Mr. Colwyn always sits, always places his briefcase, and never takes his hand off of it.
Yes.
What if he's been sending Morse code messages through a device hidden inside the briefcase to Mr. Fordham via an electrical conduit hidden beneath the stage floor?
That's An extremely complex plan.
Relying on precise placement of all the elements involved and a lightning-fast understanding of Morse code.
Yes, but we cannot forget the level of intellect that we are dealing with here. We cannot underestimate their cunning. We must see through their stratagems.
These X-ray spectacles are garbage. I've got to get my money back.
That's it? That's it? That's it. This is a portable version of my X-ray machine. It's disguised as a camera. I need you to take an image of Colwyn's briefcase. The backplate is already in place.
Of course.
Detective, I wonder if it's possible there's a less elaborate cheating scheme at play here.
I'm sure it's not technically impossible.
Ladies and gentlemen, but a single question remains, after which we will officially announce Toronto's smartest man. Or person.
The final challenge will be a code-breaking puzzle worth 5 bonus points. Miss Ontario Wheat will reveal this statement to be worked out.
So soon, Mr. Murdoch?
It reads, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Socrates. It is a simple Caesar shift cipher of 7 places. It's fairly common in my line of work.
That is correct.
That means we have a winner. And with the most points on the board, Detective Murdoch is Toronto's smartest man.
Oh, wait a moment. I wasn't here for the first round. I'm at a disadvantage in the points count.
Our decision is final. Tomorrow will be the grand prize ceremony, and Encyclopedia founder and my esteemed father, Tobias Colwyn, will be arriving by train from Windsor to present the prize himself.
Detective, I feel as though we should do some kind of face-off to determine who really won this thing.
All right, but right now I need to get to the station house.
Well, we can continue this conversation there.
All right.
So why are you doing all this? You won, supposedly. What are you expecting to find?
Evidence of cheating, specifically some sort of Morse code pulsation device. This X-ray should clarify.
You X-rayed the briefcase?
I did. Detective Murdoch disguised the device as a camera.
What's inside?
It's empty.
What about the prize money Colwyn showed everyone?
The bills were banded with metal clips. The money's not in there either.
Maybe there is no $1,000 prize.
What if Calvin Colwyn is trying to avoid a payout?
By attacking the contest frontrunners? That's mad.
But if it's true, Detective Murdoch could be next.
I believe we need to pay Calvin Colwyn a visit.
Oh, Detective, you startled me.
Mr. Colwyn, why are you taking down your displays?
Oh, well, my father fell ill and couldn't make the train, so we've decided to forego the prize presentation. But no worry, you'll still receive your prize in installment payments.
What about all the money that was in the briefcase?
Oh, that was just showmanship. It's all paid out to suppliers. But your collected encyclopedia is available today.
Do you offer delivery?
Mr. Colwyn, I'm not surprised that you called off the ceremony. I don't think you want to pay out that prize money. Perhaps you can't afford to.
Nonsense. The book fair and the contest have been terrific publicity.
Even with one of the contestants losing their life.
Well, I had nothing to do with that. And it's a shame, but sales are up. I wish I could drag this competition out forever. Only a fool would think differently.
Mr. Colwyn.
Pop, maybe we should call off the contest.
Nonsense.
Perhaps we should call off the competition.
Don't be ridiculous.
Are you the fool your father's referring to?
I do. What do you mean?
You've been only too eager to shut down this competition. suggesting that your father do so at every turn.
I was just concerned about the competitors, about their safety.
I think you're lying. We need to have a discussion about this down at the station house.
Leave my son alone. Might be a little fool, but he's done nothing wrong.
You be quiet. I'm not a fool. You are! There's no money, Pop. There's no money. There's no $1,000. If we had to pay that prize, we would have gone under for sure. I didn't have a choice.
Son?
What have you done?
No one could win that prize. I was just trying to make sure of it. When I saw how quickly Mr. Fordham was filling out his entry exam, and I heard him complaining about that clam juice, well, it was easy enough for me to splash some in his drink. But he came back,
Oh, Dean. This is madness.
and I thought surely Professor Srinivasan's doubt that would be enough to stop the event, but no. No, some eager detective was all too determined to let it continue.
And after you dropped a brick on Professor Srinivasan's head, you tried to poison Miss Newsom? What were you planning to do to the detective?
I wasn't gonna kill him. We were skipping out without paying, that's all.
You didn't have to do any of this.
Well, you always tell me to pay attention, to pull my weight. That's what I was doing. I was pulling my weight. I was trying to save your company. We were going under, Pop, but you're just too blind to see that.
I wasn't. I knew we were in trouble.
If you knew you couldn't afford to pay the prize money, why put it up in the first place?
Because I'd already arranged a winner. A man content with glory even if he cheated to get it.
Fordham.
I gave him the answers and a smaller payout for helping me fix the contest. With the extra publicity, I knew the cyclopedia would bounce back. Why couldn't you stay out of this?
I was just trying to help.
But Fordham didn't win.
So not only did your son fail, you did as well.
I wouldn't have if you hadn't entered the contest.
You're under arrest for fraud, and your son for murder.
Thank you. So in the end, sir, I got my money back for the x-ray glasses.
Good for you.
Used it to buy mind-reading goggles.
Higgins, you're as daft as a bloody brush, lad.
I knew you'd say something like that, sir. Maybe I don't need them after all, huh?
So, Albert, why didn't Mr. Fordham win it all if he had the answers in advance?
Well, he told Murdoch that he threw at least one round to avoid suspicion. He also said that the injury to his wrist didn't help him either.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Oh. Murdoch, you're here. What have you got there?
I've created a device to aid with gameplay. I call it the Answer Alert.
Brilliant. But miscellany matchup isn't tonight.
I know. Miss Newsom? I believe women are the intellectual equals to most men. Not all.
Is that a challenge?
Do we still have a bet, Albert?
We do indeed.
Are we ready to begin?
Not too late to back out, Detective.
That's very kind of you. Our first question. In the George Crabtree novel, A Man Alone, who did Mr. Crabtree consider to be his biggest influence?
Bomb placed entirely inside one of the victim's bodies was enough to make anyone utter a shocked exclamation. He quickly asked if anyone was hurt, breathing a heavy sigh of relief when Murdoch assured him everyone was perfectly safe. But Murdoch noted there was something highly interesting about the entire situation. Before he could elaborate, Samson interrupted, playfully scolding Ryan for letting the tea steep too long, warning him not to ruin the fine gold blend he was drinking. After rescuing the tea, Ryan asked what could possibly be more interesting than a bomb hidden in a cadaver. Murdoch revealed that the very first person on the scene was none other than the corrupt mayor, Chadwick Vaughn. Ryan paused, processing the information. He asked if Murdoch thought this elaborate scheme was Vaughn's own handiwork. If it was, Ryan pointed out enthusiastically, this could be their golden chance to expose the mayor and get all their rightful jobs back. Murdoch smiled, taking a slow sip of his perfectly brewed tea. He playfully countered, asking who said that getting his job back was what he truly wanted. He mused that he might be perfectly content spending the rest of his days in this very pub, talking football with Mr. Ryan, even though Ryan clearly knew absolutely nothing about the sport. Ryan laughed heartily, pointing out the irony of being insulted by a man who openly supported the Wednesday. Shifting gears, Murdoch asked Mr. Ryan if he had seen Mr. Colangelo or any of Mr. Petrucci's men lingering about the neighborhood. Ryan shook his head, stating they had not been seen since Murdoch originally arrested them. They had remained entirely peaceful ever since. Ryan found it incredibly funny, in a darker way, that none of those criminals had seen the inside of a courtroom once Mayor Vaughn took possession of their cases. Murdoch raised an eyebrow, teasing Ryan that he thought he only wanted to discuss football. Ryan retorted that he was fine discussing anything, provided their guts were not currently decorating the city morgue. Seeking more information, Murdoch asked what Ryan knew about Samson, the bartender. Ryan admitted there really was not much to examine, but Murdoch insisted there was always something to uncover if one looked closely enough. They reviewed the facts. There were exactly 3 bodies in the cold storage at the exact time of the explosion. Miss Hart had yet to determine an exact cause of death for any of them. The men were identified as Tony Petrucci and Mark Galangelo. Their bodies were unfortunately incinerated, leaving their true demise a mystery. They had been bitter enemies in life, yet they found themselves close companions in death. They pondered over the third victim, a fellow who had suffered a terrible case of heartburn when he was brought in. Murdoch had not yet had a chance to officially identify him. Ryan suggested it was likely Ed Miller, who was brought in during the roundup of Tony Petrucci's associates. But Murdoch recalled there was another fellow involved in the skirmish, a man named Bobby Morano. However, Murdoch did not believe the third body was Morano. He recalled the height of the victim brought and was easily 6'1" or 6'2". Bobby Morano, on the other hand, was 5'8" at the absolute most. This realization sparked a new theory. Was Bobby Morano going to be the next victim? Or was he the mastermind behind the explosive cover-up? Murdoch was convinced that Mayor Vaughn was orchestrating everything. And if Bobby Morano was somehow involved, it was undoubtedly at Vaughn's explicit request. Ryan agreed that it was a strong possibility, meaning they desperately needed to find Morano before the trail went completely cold. Murdoch nodded confidently, stating they would definitely find him, but they would need to gather some old friends to help with the monumental task. Across town, in a brightly lit, beautifully humid greenhouse, Watts was carefully tending to his beloved collection of exotic plants. He picked up a small, vibrant fern, muttering to himself that he supposed this one would do perfectly. He gently instructed a passing nursery assistant to make absolutely sure to keep that specific one out of the harsh, direct sun. He explained with deep affection that while everyone always talks about how much plants adore sunshine, too much direct light would cause a delicate, beautiful creature like Emily to shrivel and lose her spirit. The assistant paused, highly amused. She asked if Emily was truly the plant's name, wondering aloud if Watts was in the eccentric habit of naming all of his leafy companions. Watts smiled softly, gently touching the fern's bright green leaves. He confessed that he only named the ones he was exceptionally fond of, and he was quite fond of Emily. Just then, Chief Constable Brackenreed and Detective Murdoch walked into the lush greenhouse. Brackenreed chuckled loudly, stating he would certainly hate to break the two of them up. He playfully critiqued Watts on his customer sales technique. Watts shrugged cheerfully. noting that the previous customer did not deserve a plant as wonderful as Emily anyway. Watts turned to greet his dear friends. The chief constable warmly expressed how incredibly good it was to see him. Watts echoed the sentiment. He asked what was going on, noting that seeing the two of them together was a rare sight, and there simply must be an important reason for their sudden visit. Brackenreed did not waste time. He asked Watts how he would like his old job back. Watts blinked in surprise, asking if the station house had been officially recommissioned. Brackenreed admitted it had not happened exactly like that just yet, but they firmly aimed to see that would happen very soon. Watts hesitated, looking around his peaceful greenhouse. He admitted he had grown quite fond of his plants and the quiet life. Brackenreed offered a piece of fatherly advice. He warned that it was best not to let a simple pastime become a full vocation. He cautioned that if one did that, they would have nothing new to turn their sharp mind to, and life would simply become a long stretch of universal sameness. Watts pondered this profound thought, a small smile creeping onto his face. Brackenreed took his thoughtful silence as a resounding yes. Their next stop was a lavish, upscale dining room, where Higgins was comfortably seated, looking entirely out of place yet completely in his element. He was scrutinizing a fancy appetizer. He called the waiter over, complaining that there was something terribly wrong with the dish because the shrimp were ice cold. The waiter patiently explained it was a shrimp cocktail, which was traditionally supposed to be served completely cold. Higgins squinted, warning the waiter not to try and pull a fast one on him. Brackenreed stepped in, rolling his eyes and telling Higgins to simply eat the delicious shrimp. Higgins immediately stood up to greet his former colleagues. He politely asked the waiter to put the meal on his running tab and offered the gentleman a seat, asking the waiter, Serge, to please set another couple of places. Murdoch politely declined, explaining they were not staying. He revealed there had been a serious incident, and they finally had a real chance to bring Mayor Vaughn to justice. Brackenreed challenged Higgins, asking what he had to say for himself. He asked if Higgins wanted to remain a kept man, lounging about in luxury, or if he wanted to do something truly useful with his grand life. Higgins defensively claimed he was doing something with his life. He was thoroughly enjoying his exquisite meals. Brackenreed urged him to come along, joking that the cold shrimp was probably of no use to him anyway. Higgins sighed dramatically, conceding that his beloved Ruth was getting a bit tired of him laying about the beautiful house all day. He instructed the waiter to forward his usual bill to his hotel and eagerly joined the grand crusade. The reunited team walked through the bustling city streets, catching up on the latest news. Higgins asked how business was going for the others. Murdoch smiled modestly, mentioning he had almost secured his second official case as a private investigator the day before, but it fell through. Higgins bragged that his own life was booming, even though his only client so far had ironically been his own wife, who liked to keep close tabs on him. Murdoch found the reasoning somewhat beyond his logical comprehension, but Higgins cheerfully noted that she paid exceptionally well. Higgins asked if they were actively looking for his specific help. Murdoch confirmed they were officially going after Mayor Vaughn. Higgins's eyes lit up with renewed excitement. He declared he was more than interested, especially since Vaughn was the man who had fired him. But he warned that the mayor was an incredibly slippery fish. He asked if they had heard about the explosive incident at the morgue. They confirmed they had, and they firmly believed Vaughn was the mastermind behind it. Higgins pointed out that everyone knew Vaughn was behind a lot of terrible things in the city, but nothing ever seemed to stick to the man. Brackenreed slapped Higgins heartily on the back, claiming he thought Higgins was much more of a fighter than that. Higgins puffed out his chest, ready to prove his immense worth. One could have anticipated. Yet she remained a pillar of strength. The people trusted her implicitly. They knew that if they showed courage, if they proved they were not scared of the corrupt forces trying to intimidate them, the community would thrive. The political climate in the city had taken a frustrating turn. Station House 4, a beloved institution of community safety, and its dedicated staff had been abruptly declared redundant by the arrogant Mayor Chadwick Vaughn. This included the sharp-witted and ever-resourceful Mrs. Crabtree. But as she packed up her desk, she knew in her heart that this was not over. Chadwick Vaughn had severely underestimated the resolve of the people he sought to dismiss. In fact, the mystery was only just beginning to unfold. 3 bodies had turned up in a matter of a few days. They were all males, mostly in their early 40s. The local cold storage was already holding 2 bodies, and the attendants were told to squeeze the new one in, planning to deal with the paperwork and examinations in the gentle light of the morning. The sun rose over the city morgue, casting a golden hue over the stark brick building. The chief attendant smiled and told Detective Murdoch that he could go home now, but William Murdoch, ever the inquisitive soul, simply could not stay away. Retirement or not, he found becoming increasingly difficult to avoid crime scenes, especially one so close to his own neighborhood. He stepped into the pristine medical facility, his eyes scanning the room. He asked what had happened. Miss Hart, looking both perplexed and determined, explained that a body was delivered late the previous evening. Unfortunately, she had only managed to take a cursory look. The deceased was a male, somewhere in his mid-40s. But what truly baffled the brilliant minds in the room was the bizarre discovery made shortly after. Someone had planted a small, crude explosive device. It was hidden completely inside the deceased man's body. Good heavens, Murdoch murmured, his mind already racing through 1,000 logical deductions. He could not understand the reasoning behind such a bizarre act. He turned to Miss Hart, his brow furrowed with genuine concern. He asked if someone could possibly be wishing her harm. Miss Hart smiled softly, her confidence unwavering. She reasoned that if someone truly wished her harm, they would not orchestrate something so convoluted within the walls of the morgue. Murdoch nodded in agreement, concluding that this elaborate scheme was likely the best way for the perpetrator to hide the true cause of death of man who was brought in. The conversation shifted briefly to the community. Miss Hart supposed that the fact Murdoch was still lingering around the city meant the board of Control had no objection to his neighborhood safety program. On the contrary, Murdoch replied with a warm smile. The board and Murdoch himself applauded Miss Hart's wonderful initiatives. It was a beautiful testament to neighbors caring for neighbors. He believed the very definition of good governance was to empower the community while keeping bureaucratic government out of people's private business. Despite the horrendous incident at the morgue, Murdoch expressed a profound relief that Miss Hart was completely unharmed. She thanked him graciously and playfully questioned what brought him there, noting she would have thought he would be off somewhere enjoying his well-deserved retirement. Bringing the focus back to the mystery, Murdoch asked about the current condition of the other bodies that were in the cold storage during the small blast. Miss Hart sighed, revealing that they were largely incinerated by the unexpected heat. That meant their original causes of death would remain a mystery for the time being. However, Murdoch stood tall, his eyes twinkling with a renewed sense of purpose. He declared that it was a mystery the active, and perhaps the semi-retired, members of the Toronto Constabulary would soon solve. Their exchange was interrupted by the sudden arrival of an unwanted guest, a snide official representing Mayor Vaughn. He bid a curt good day to Mr. Murdoch, asking if they were at least able to ascertain the identities of the incinerated men. When Murdoch pressed for information, the official defensively repeated his greeting, sternly reminding Mr. Murdoch that the morgue was city property and that his retired presence was no longer welcome. Undeterred, Murdoch gracefully exited, but not before exchanging a knowing glance with Mrs. Crabtree. She discreetly slipped him a thin file containing the preliminary reports. He thanked her softly, promising he would not stay away for long. He knew he had to review the documents before the corrupt officials realized what was happening. Later that afternoon, the former team gathered in a cozy, sunlit parlor. Sarah, always a beacon of joyful energy, poured tea as they discussed the latest developments. Neither Mr. Colangelo nor Mr. Petrucci's men, who had been taken into custody earlier that week, were facing any formal charges. In a shocking display of political favoritism, all charges had been completely dropped. They wondered aloud where the men were now and if they were being held securely somewhere. But the frustrating truth was that they were all perfectly free to go, entirely upon the mayor's direct orders. Seeking a lighter note, someone asked if there was any other news. Sarah smiled mischievously, admitting there was quite a bit of local gossip. Always up for a harmless story, the team leaned in. It turned out the mayor's wife had abruptly moved out of their lavish house. They had engaged in the most horrendous theatrical fight, right in the middle of the mayor's office. The group chuckled, agreeing that she likely could not put up with his nonsense any longer. It was just a bunch of political shenanigans anyway, but it provided a wonderful opportunity for the team to find a new ally before leaving the parlor. Murdoch expressed how much they all missed having everyone around the bustling office. The sentiment was mutually deeply felt. Murdoch asked Sarah if she could perhaps find out where the mayor's wife was currently staying. Sarah winked, promising to do whatever she could to help her dear friends. Meanwhile, at a cheerful local pub known for its hearty stews and lively debates, Mr. Ryan was holding court. He passionately declared that, in his humble opinion, the absolutely best goalkeeper in England, and therefore by definition the entire world, was Teddy Davidson. Another patron playfully waved him off, telling him to be gone with his wild claims. They argued good-naturedly about a football club known as the Wednesday, with someone pointing out that the only lad worth watching was Peter Warren, and even then, he was only praised because of his Irish heritage. Ryan laughed, wondering why anyone would waste their breath on the Wednesday when the only team truly worth supporting was the Glasgow Celtic. The banner flowed as smoothly as the beverages, with arguments about how all the best Scottish players inevitably moved to play in England, which was exactly why Celtic allegedly had a terrible team at that specific moment. Ryan conceded they might be right, especially when comparing them to the squad that recently suffered a devastating 10-0 loss to the Villa. His friend groaned, insisting there was absolutely no need to go on about that particular match. It was a total one-off, a complete debacle that would never happen again. They all agreed, raising their glasses to the fact that at least the Celtic played for the right side of the pitch. They mutually decided to drop any serious arguments, knowing that bickering was one surefire way to ruin the beautiful sport. The jovial atmosphere was slightly interrupted when a friend playfully mocked the bartender, Samson, about his new haircut, comparing it to the ancient story of his namesake. Samson just rolled his eyes with a warm smile. Then Detective Murdoch walked to the wooden doors. The pub cheered at the sight of him. Ryan joked that everyone eventually turns to drink when left idle in retirement. Murdoch smiled warmly and approached the bar. He politely asked for a spruce beer. The patrons gasped in mock horror, wondering what on earth a spruce beer was, teasing him for remaining completely teetotal. Samson laughed and offered to brew him a fresh cup of tea instead, claiming it was the absolute best he could do to accommodate the detective's wholesome preferences. Murdoch thanked him graciously. As the tea steeped, filling the air with a comforting, earthy aroma, Ryan leaned over the mahogany counter. He asked Murdoch how he had managed to find him. Murdoch chuckled, noting that Ryan's lovely wife had essentially drawn him a detailed map. The conversation quickly shifted to the serious matter at hand. Ryan asked if Murdoch had heard about the bizarre explosion at the morgue. He called it a terrible accident, though he reasoned that if such a thing had to happen, the morgue was probably the safest place for it. Murdoch leaned in, his voice dropping to a conversational whisper. He revealed that it was no accident at all. Miss Hart firmly believed it was a deliberate bomb. Ryan's eyes widened in sheer disbelief. Above, seeking his trusted colleagues. Everyone turns to drink eventually, especially when left idle. Ryan teased the detective. "What are you having?" "I will have a spruce beer, please," Murdoch requested politely. "A spruce? What the devil is that?" "He is still a teetotaler. I will make you a cup of tea. It is the best I can do." "Thank you." Murdoch smiled warmly. "So how did you find me?" Ryan asked, intrigued. Your wife as much as drew me a map, Murdoch chuckled. I take it you have heard about the explosion at the morgue? Terrible accident, Ryan nodded sympathetically. But if it was going to happen, the morgue is as good a place as any. It was not an accident. Murdoch leaned in, his voice dropping to an educational whisper. Go on. Miss Hart believes it was a bomb. A bomb? Placed inside one of the victims' bodies. Heavens above. Was anyone hurt? Thankfully, no. Murdoch reassured him quickly, valuing human safety above all else. But there was something interesting about it. Let it steep, man. Do not be ruining it. Ryan scolded the bartender preparing the tea. That is Barry's gold you are drinking. What is more interesting than a bomb and a cadaver? The first person on scene was none other than Chadwick Vaughn. Is that right? Do you think this is his handiwork? If it was... Now, this could be a chance to get our jobs back. Who says that is what I want? Ryan deflected with a grin. I might be perfectly content spending the rest of my days in this pub talking football with Mr. Ryan, even though he knows nothing about it. Says the man who sports the Wednesday. Ryan shot back playfully. Mr. Ryan, have you seen Mr. Colangelo or Mr. Petrucci's men about? Not since you arrested them. They have been peaceful ever since. It is funny, is it not, that none of them saw the inside of a courtroom once that Vaughn took possession of them. Murdoch mused intelligently, his analytical mind assembling the puzzle pieces. I thought you only wanted to discuss football, Ryan noted. Not if their guts are decorating the morgue, Murdoch said with a light-hearted sigh. What do you know about Samson? There really is not much to examine. But something? There is always something. Murdoch began to outline the scientific deduction of the case. There were 3 bodies in the cold storage at the time of the explosion. I have yet to determine an exact cause of death. Who were they? Tony Petrucci and Mark Colangelo. Their bodies were incinerated. So I do not know how they died. Enemies in life, friends in death. What about the one who had a terrible case of heartburn? Ryan asked curiously. I had not had a chance to identify him yet. It was likely Ed Miller. He was brought in when we were rounding up Tony Petrucci's men. But was there not another fellow? Bobby Morano. Murdoch tapped his chin thoughtfully. But I do not think it was Morano. How tall was the victim that was brought in? Easily 6 feet 1 inch, 6 feet 2 inches. Right. Morano is 5 feet 8 inches. At most. So is Morano going to be next? Or is he behind all of this? Vaughn is behind all of this. Murdoch deduced with brilliant clarity. And if Morano is involved, it is at Vaughn's request. Well, that may be. We still need to find him. And we will. I think we will need some help on this. The quest for justice soon led them to a bright, sunlit flower shop, a testament to the beauty of nature and the gentle souls who cared for it. Detective Watts, currently enjoying a peaceful hiatus as a florist, was tenderly dusting the leaves of a magnificent fern. I suppose this one will do, a customer pondered. Now, make sure to keep that one out of the sun, Watts instructed with absolute devotion. I know what they say about plants and sunshine, but too much will cause a delicate creature like Emily to shrivel and die. Emily? That is her name. Are you in the habit of naming all of your plants? Only the ones I am fond of. Watts smiled softly. And I am quite fond of Emily. Well, I would hate to break the two of you up then. You might want to work on your sales technique. Watts? A familiar voice rang out. It was the chief constable, standing tall and proud in the doorway. Oh, she did not deserve Emily anyway, Watts replied, unbothered. Detective, chief constable, good to see you. You as well. So, what is going on? Watts asked, dusting off his hands. What do you mean? What is going on? The two together are a person I have seen of either of you in some time. There must be a reason for that. How would you like your old job back? The station has been recommissioned? Not exactly, but we aim to see that happens. Watts looked fondly at his vibrant green companions. Well, I have grown quite fond of plants. But it is best not to let a pastime become your vocation, the chief constable imparted wisely. You do that, you have nothing to turn your mind to, and then life is nothing but universal sameness. Oh, is that a yes? Before they could finalize their brilliant coalition, they sought the assistance of another dear friend. They found Higgins dining comfortably in an exquisite, sun-dappled restaurant. I am a bit. I do not want this. Is something wrong, sir? The waiter asked nervously. They are ice cold, Higgins pointed out, gesturing to his meal. It is a shrimp cocktail. So, it is supposed to be served cold. Do not try to pull a fast one on me. Eat the shrimp. The humorous exchange was interrupted by the arrival of Murdoch and the chief constable. Put this up, please. As you wish. Gentlemen, would you like a seat? Higgins offered generously. Serge, could you set another couple places, please? We are not staying, Murdoch said kindly. There's been an incident. We may have a chance to get Vaughn. So what do you say? Higgins, do you want to remain a kept man, or do you want to do something useful with your life? Higgins puffed his chest out slightly. I am doing something with my life. Sir, I am enjoying this. Come on, Murdoch, the chief constable chuckled. This one is probably no use to us anyway. Wait, Ruth is getting tired of me laying about the house anyway. Garçon, to my usual hotel. Please. With their team slowly reassembling through bonds of loyalty and shared purpose, they turned their brilliant minds back to the puzzle of the corrupted mayor and his elusive hired hand. They knew that intellect, patience, and the unbreakable spirit of camaraderie would light their path, ensuring that the shadows of Toronto would once again be scattered by the dawn of justice and enduring hope. The crisp autumn wind swept through the bustling streets of Toronto, carrying with it the promise of change and the lingering scent of roasted chestnuts from the corner vendors. The city was alive, humming with the energy of community that looked out for one another, even when shadows threatened to dim its vibrant spirit. In a secluded alleyway, tucked away from the main thoroughfare, a tense confrontation was unfolding, though it was driven more by a passionate desire for justice than any true malice. A young man, his eyes wide with mixture of fear and determination, stood cornered. He had busted Petrucci out of holding, a reckless move fueled by grief. Petrucci had taken his brother from him 3 years ago, and the heavy burden of payback had finally weighed too heavily on his heart. The young man believed it was time to settle the score. He offered a desperate plea to those watching, urging them to come with him if they wanted to live through the impending storm. He wanted them to go get him, to take down the notorious Vaughn Colangelo, a figure who had cast a long, unpleasant shadow over their neighborhood. But he was quickly reminded that to challenge someone like Vaughn Colangelo, one had to be prepared to stand entirely on their own. Suddenly, the authoritative yet gentle voices of the Toronto Constabulary echoed against the brick walls. The officers approached with steady, reassuring steps, asking the gentlemen to keep their hands where they could be seen. Detective William Murdoch, a man whose brilliant mind was matched only by his deep sense of compassion, stepped forward. His calm demeanor immediately de-escalated the soaring tensions. The young man scoffed lightly, his defensive posture faltering. He pointed out to the detective that even he must admit the black community in this grand city was not well protected by the police force. Detective Murdoch nodded slowly, his eyes reflecting a profound understanding and a sincere desire to do better. He assured the young man that while his grievances were absolutely valid, vigilante justice was never the answer. The detective promised that he was there to protect him, to find a better, more righteous path forward. Meanwhile, whispers of concern fluttered through the community regarding Miss Hart. The brilliant and resilient coroner had seemingly gotten herself mixed up in a situation far more complex than anyone to the darkest corners of their beloved city. The evening air settled gently over the bustling streets of Toronto, carrying with it the faint, nostalgic scent of roasted chestnuts and the distant, rhythmic clatter of horse-drawn carriages. It was a city of tremendous progress and boundless hope, a beacon for those seeking a brighter future. Yet, even in the most luminous cities, shadows occasionally gathered, requiring the steadfast dedication of honorable men and women to bring them back into the light. In a dimly lit alleyway, a tense standoff was unfolding, though it was soon to be expertly defused by the city's finest. A young man, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and unresolved grief, pointed a trembling finger at a figure cloaked in the evening mist. "You busted Petrucci out?" "Why?" the young man demanded, his voice cracking with emotion. "Petrucci killed my brother 3 years ago. It is time for payback. Come with me if you want to." "Live?" "Go get him!" Another voice echoed from the brickwork, urging conflict. "You want to take down Von Colangelo? You have to do it on your own." Before the tension could escalate into anything untoward, a calm, authoritative voice pierced the cool night air. The shadows parted to reveal a meticulously dressed detective, his posture radiating quiet confidence and unshakable moral resolve. "Toronto Constabulary," the detective announced, his tones soothing yet firm. "Keep your hands where we can see them, gentlemen." The young man lowered his stance, though his heart still hammered against his ribs. "Detective," he pleaded, his voice tinged with the heavy burden of systemic neglect. "Even you must admit the black community in this city is not well protected by the police." The detective stepped forward, his eyes softening with profound empathy and understanding. He knew the struggles of the marginalized, and his heart ached for the injustice they faced. "I am sure you are right," he said gently, his words a balm to the young man's frayed nerves. "But vigilante justice is not the answer. It only breeds more sorrow. I am here to protect you. Trust in the law, and trust in me." Nearby, another officer, a kind-hearted man with a penchant for profound observations, whispered to a colleague, "I fear Miss Hart has gotten herself mixed up in something she cannot handle. People trust you. They will pay if you show them you are not scared." Despite their heroic efforts that night, the wheels of bureaucratic politics were turning against them. The very next morning, a harsh declaration echoed through the halls of justice. Station House 4, along with its devoted staff, had been declared redundant. "You as well, Mrs. Crabtree," the official announced, dismissing the brilliant minds that kept the city safe. But the spirit of justice was not so easily extinguished. "This is not over, Vaughn," a determined voice promised. "I think it very much is," came the arrogant reply from Mayor Vaughn, a man whose ambition had long ago eclipsed his conscience. Elsewhere, the grim realities of their profession continued, though the detectives always approached their duties with deep reverence for human life. At the city morgue, an unusual mystery was unfolding. There were bodies awaiting examination, men in their early 40s, their lives cut short by circumstances yet unknown. "There are already 2 bodies in the storage," a weary attendant noted. "Squeeze him in. Deal with him in the morning." "You can go home now," another suggested gently. Just then, Detective William Murdoch, a man of unparalleled intellect and unwavering integrity, stepped into the solemn room, though recently forced into a premature retirement. His brilliant mind could not rest when puzzles remained unsolved. "Detective Murdoch, what are you doing here?" the attendant asked, surprised but secretly relieved by the presence of the legendary investigator. "Retirement or not, it is becoming increasingly difficult to avoid crime scenes," Murdoch replied, a faint, charming smile playing on his lips, especially one so close to home. "What happened?" Murdoch asked, his sharp eyes scanning the immaculate room. "A body was delivered last evening. Unfortunately, I only took a cursory look. Male, mid-40s. The attendant paused, his brow furrowing in bewilderment. "I believe whatever did this was hidden inside the man's body. Good God, but I do not understand his." "Why?" Murdoch approached the examination table, his mind already formulating complex hypotheses. "Could someone be wishing you harm? If they were, they would not do it here. Well, I guess this would be the best way of hiding the cause of death. Not yours, but whoever was brought in." The conversation was respectfully interrupted by the arrival of the formidable Miss Hart, a woman of sharp intellect and progressive ideals. I suppose the fact that you are still here means the Border Control has no objection to your neighborhood safety program. To the contrary, Murdoch replied warmly. They and I applaud Miss Hart's initiatives. Neighbors caring for neighbors. It is the very definition of good governance, is to keep government out of people's business. He looked at her with genuine relief. What a horrendous incident. I am truly glad you are unharmed. Thank you. Miss Hart smiled gracefully. And you, Mr. Murdoch, what brings you here? I would have thought you would be off somewhere enjoying your retirement. Murdoch's expression grew serious, his dedication to the truth shining through. Miss Hart, what is the current condition of the other bodies that were in your cold storage? Largely incinerated, I am afraid, she sighed. Well, then I suppose it means their causes of death remain a mystery. Also, a mystery the active members of the Toronto Constabulary will soon solve. Good day, Mr. Murdoch, Miss Hart said, her tone suddenly professional. Were you at least able to ascertain their identities? When Murdoch did not immediately leave, she reiterated firmly, I said good day, Mr. Murdoch. This morgue is city property, and you are not welcome. Understanding the delicate political situation, Murdoch nodded gracefully. He turned to a trusted ally. Mrs. Crabtree. The file. Thank you. I cannot be here long. I have to return before they know this. Yes. Here, here, she whispered, passing him the vital documents. Thank you, Sarah, Murdoch said, his eyes filled with gratitude. Neither Mr. Colangelo nor Mr. Petrucci's men taken into custody are facing charges. They have all been dropped. Where are they now? Are they being held somewhere? Sarah asked, her voice laced with concern. They are all free to go on the mayor's orders. All right. Anything else? Sarah leaned in, a conspiratorial twinkle in her eye. Well, there's gossip. Murdoch could not help but chuckle, always up for some. The mayor's wife has moved out of their house. They had the most horrendous fight, right in the office. No. Why? I do not think she can put up with his foolishness. It is just a bunch of shenanigans anyway. Sarah said, her hands on her hips. Please, I have to get back. We all miss having you around the office. I miss being there, Murdoch admitted, a rare moment of vulnerability softening his features. Do you think you could find out where the mayor's wife is staying? I will do what I can, she promised with a bright smile. Far from the somber halls of the morgue, a lively debate was taking place in a cozy, wood-paneled pub, filled with a cheerful hum of camaraderie. In my humble opinion, the best goalkeeper in England, and by definition the world, is Teddy Davidson, one man declared passionately, thumping his hand on the sturdy oak table. Begone, would you? His companion laughed heartily. The only lad on the Wednesday we are talking about is Peter Warren. You are only saying that because he is Irish. Exactly. Anyway, why waste your breath on the Wednesday when the only team we are supporting are the Glasgow Celtic? All the best Scottish players play in England. The friendly banter bounced around the room, a testament to the enduring bonds of friendship. That is why Celtic have got a terrible team at the moment. Another chimed in, grinning. You might be right about that, especially when compared to one that lost 10-0 to the Villa. There is no need to go on about that, Ryan. The first man groaned playfully. That was a one-off, a debacle. That will not happen again. Well, at least the Celtic play for the right side. Do they not? And there is no need to go on about religion either. That is one way to ruin sport. Ryan laughed, taking a sip of his beverage. He looked across the table. By the way, what happened to your hair? This? Another story of Samson. His friend joked, patting his freshly trimmed head. Oh, look who is here. Murdoch stepped into the warm glow of the pub. I take it you have heard about the explosion at the morgue? Terrible accident. But if it was going to happen, the morgue is as good a place as any. It was not an accident, Murdoch said, his tone turning serious, yet laced with the thrill of a new intellectual challenge. Go on. Miss Hart believes it was a bomb, placed inside one of the bodies. Good heavens! Brackenreed gasped. Was anyone hurt? Thankfully, no, Murdoch assured them, highlighting the positive outcome. But there was something interesting about it. The first person on the scene was none other than Chadwick Vaughn. Is that right? Brackenreed leaned in. Do you think this is his handiwork? If it was, now this could be a chance to get our jobs back. Who says that is what I want? Higgins joked lazily. I might be perfectly content spending the rest of my days in this pub talking football with Mr. Ryan, even though he knows nothing about it, says the man who supports the Wednesday. Ryan fired back with a wink. Mr. Ryan, have you seen Mr. Colangelo or the men of Mr. Petrucci about? Murdoch inquired. Not since you arrested them, Ryan answered. They have been peaceful ever since. It is funny, is it not, that none of them saw the inside of a courtroom once that Vaughn took possession of them. I thought you only wanted to discuss football. Higgins teased. Not if their remnants are decorating the morgue. Ryan shuddered lightly. There were 3 bodies in the cold storage at the time of the explosion. Murdoch explained to his attentive colleagues. I have yet to determine an exact cause of death. Who were they? Crabtree asked. Tony Petrucci and Mark Colangelo, Murdoch stated. Their bodies were incinerated, so I do not know how they died. Enemies in life, friends in death. What about the one who had a terrible case of heartburn? I had not had a chance to identify him yet. Murdoch mused. It was likely Ed Miller. He was brought in when we were rounding up the men of Tony Petrucci. But was there not another fellow? Bobby Morano. But I do not think it was Morano. How tall was the victim that was brought in? Easily 6 feet and 1 inch, or 6 feet and 2 inches, Crabtree recalled. Right, Murdoch nodded. Morano is 5 feet and 8 inches at most. So, is Morano going to be next? Or is he behind all of this? Vaughn is behind all of this. And if Morano is involved, it is at the request of the mayor. Well, that may be, Brackenreed stated firmly. We still need to find him. And we will. I think we will need some help on this. Across the city, Detective Llewellyn Watts was finding his own unique way to pass his retirement. In a sunlit greenhouse, surrounded by vibrant greenery and blooming flowers, Watts was meticulously tending to a delicate fern. I suppose this one will do, Watts muttered to himself, gently touching a leaf. Now, make sure to keep that one out of sun. I know what they say about plants and sunshine. But too much will cause a delicate creature like Emily to shrivel and fade. Emily? That is her name? A customer asked, bewildered. Are you in the habit of naming all of your plants? Only the ones I am fond of, Watts replied with absolute sincerity. And I am quite fond of Emily. Well, I would hate to break the 2 of you up then, the customer said, awkwardly backing out of the shop. You might want to work on your sales technique. Watts? Murdoch said with a warm smile, stepping into the greenhouse, accompanied by Brackenreed. Oh, she did not deserve Emily anyway. Watts scoffed lightheartedly, turned to face his old friends. Detective, Chief Constable, it is good to see you. You as well. So, what is going on? The 2 of you together are a sight I have not seen in some time. There must be a reason for that. How would you like your old job back? Brackenreed offered, a hopeful gleam in his eye. The station has been recommissioned? Watts asked, intrigued. Not exactly, but we aim to see that it happens. Well, I have grown quite fond of plants, Watts pondered, looking around his leafy sanctuary. But it is best not to let a pastime become your vocation. You do that, you have nothing to turn your mind to, and then life is nothing but universal sameness. Is that a yes? Brackenreed chuckled. The team was slowly coming back together, united by their shared passion for truth, justice, and the deep bonds of friendship that had carried them through so many trials. They convened at a charming, upscale restaurant to discuss their strategy. Higgins, who had taken comfortably to a life of leisure supported by his wealthy wife, was already seated, examining a culinary delight with a critical eye. Is something wrong, sir? The waiter, a polite young man named Serge, asked anxiously. They are ice cold, Higgins complained, pointing to his dish. It is a shrimp cocktail. So, the waiter replied, confused. It is supposed to be served cold. Do not try to pull a fast one on me, Higgins said dramatically. though a smile tugged at his lips. Eat the shrimp. Put this on my account, please. As you wish. Serge nodded respectfully. Murdoch, Brackenreed, and Watts approached the table. Gentlemen, would you like a seat? Serge offered. Could you set another couple places, please? We are not staying, Brackenreed said kindly. There has been an incident. We may have a chance to get Vaughn. So what do you say, Higgins? Do you want to remain a kept man, or do you want to do something useful with your life? I am doing something with my life. Sir, Higgins protested playfully. I am enjoying this. Come on, Murdoch sighed with amusement. This one is probably no use to us anyway. Wait. Higgins stood up quickly, wiping his mouth with a crisp linen napkin. Ruth is getting tired of me laying about the house anyway. Garçon, to my usual hotel, please. The investigation required the unique skills of every member. They needed information, and they knew exactly who could provide it. They visited a private investigator office, where an old friend sat behind a neat desk, looking somewhat bored. How is business? Murdoch asked. Well, let's just say I almost got my second case yesterday, the investigator chuckled. But one look at an Asian man, and they walked away. So, booming then? Brackenreed joked gently. My only client so far has been the wife of Batman, he quipped. She likes to keep tabs on me. Tabs? On me? Why? If I could be blunt, the reasoning of your wife is somewhat beyond me, but she does pay well. Are you looking for my help? We are going after Mayor Vaughn, Murdoch stated clearly. Interested? He fired me. The man smiled, a spark of determination igniting in his eyes. Of course I am interested, but he is a slippery fish. You heard about the explosion at the morgue? I did, Murdoch confirmed. We believe Vaughn was behind that. We know Vaughn has been behind a lot of things, but nothing sticks to the man. The investigator noted astutely. I thought you were more of a fighter than that. Albert, Brackenreed encouraged him, slapping him gently on the shoulder. Right then, Albert stood up, energized by the prospect of doing good work once again. I will pack up my things. The Fellowship of Station House 4 was fully reunited. They were not driven by vengeance, but by a profound desire to restore peace and order to a city they loved dearly. They believed in education, in fairness, and in protecting the vulnerable. They knew that Bobby Morano, a known associate of the criminal underworld, was the key to unlocking the mystery of the morgue explosion. Morano is capable of putting a device in a body. Murdoch theorized as a group gathered in a secure location. Right now, finding him is our top priority. Roberts, go and see if you can round up the rest of the constables. Yes, sir. As they strategized, a surprising ally appeared. Walking into their makeshift headquarters was none other than Noelle, the estranged wife of Mayor Chadwick Vaughn. She was an elegant woman, carrying herself with a dignity that had clearly survived years of difficult marriage. Thank you so much for the sparkling water, you handsome gentleman. Noelle smiled warmly at Crabtree, who blushed deeply. So I heard you wanted to go after my husband. Well, I am here to help you take him down. How can you help us, Mrs. Vaughn? Murdoch asked respectfully. I no longer go by that name, she said with a bright, liberating smile. Noelle will do. That is, if I can call you William. You can call me Tommy. Crabtree offered helpfully, causing a ripple of light-hearted laughter in the room. That is all right, Noelle giggled. Noelle, what can you tell me about the involvement of your husband in this recent explosion at the city morgue? Murdoch redirected gently. I saw him reading a newspaper account, and he chuckled. She revealed, a shadow passing over her face. He did mention something about a Bobby Morano being a devious man, but I hardly listened. I was preparing to leave him. And you say you want to help us take down your husband. Do you have something you can offer us? And women, who had sworn to protect their community. Detective William Murdoch stood tall, his dark eyes observing the scene with a calm and analytical grace. Before him stood a man whose intentions were clouded by grief and a desire for retribution. You broke Petrucci out of jail, the man demanded, his voice trembling with a mixture of sorrow and anger. Why would you do such a thing? Petrucci took the life of my brother 3 years ago. It is time for payback. Come with me if you want to live. Murdoch remained perfectly composed. He understood the deep pain that fueled such desperate words. But he also knew that answering violence with further violence would only unravel the fabric of their society. Go get him. Another voice echoed in the alleyway. You want to take down Vaughn Colangelo? You have to do it on your own. Just then, the steady and reassuring presence of the Toronto Constabulary made itself known. Uniformed officers stepped out from the shadows, their presence a reminder of order and justice. Keep your hands where we can see them, gentlemen, a steadfast officer announced. The aggrieved man turned toward Murdoch, his expression softening into one of earnest plea. Detective, even you must admit the black community in this city is not well protected by the police. Murdoch stepped forward, offering a gentle and understanding nod. I am sure you are right, he replied, his voice carrying the weight of sincere compassion and a desire for progress. But vigilante justice is not the answer. I am here to protect you. We must build a system where everyone is safe under the law. Elsewhere in the city, an ambitious initiative was taking root. Miss Hart, the intelligent and forward-thinking coroner, had been working tirelessly to organize a neighborhood safety program. She believed that education, unity, and neighbors looking out for neighbors could prevent crime before it ever occurred. However, not everyone supported her noble endeavors. I fear Miss Hart has gotten herself mixed up in something she cannot handle. A skeptical voice murmured in the halls of city governance. People trust you. They will pay if you show them you are not scared. The political climate of Toronto had grown increasingly complicated. Major Chadwick Vaughan, a man whose motives were often guided by personal gain rather than public service, had recently made a sweeping declaration. Station House 4, the beloved precinct where Murdoch and his brilliant colleagues had solved countless mysteries, along with its dedicated staff, had been declared redundant. You as well, Mrs. Crabtree, the notice had read, dismissing the bright and capable women who supported constabulary. But the spirit of Station House 4 could not be so easily extinguished. This is not over. Vaughn, someone whispered in defiance. Indeed, it was very much not over. The universe has a fascinating way of presenting mysteries that demand the attention of those best, equipped to solve them. 3 unfortunate souls have been discovered over the span of a few days. The latest was a male in his early 40s. There were already 2 others in the cold storage. Squeeze him in, the attendant had said wearily. Deal with him in the morning. The next day, Murdoch found himself drawn to the city morgue, his insatiable curiosity overcoming the boundaries of his forced retirement. You can go home now, Miss Hart said gently as she noticed him. Detective Murdoch, what are you doing here? Retirement or not, it is becoming increasingly difficult to avoid crime scenes, especially one so close to home. What happened? Murdoch inquired, his eyes scanning the clinical environment of the morgue. A body was delivered last evening. Miss Hart explained, pointing toward the examination table. Unfortunately, I only took a cursory look. Male, mid-40s. I believe whatever caused this horrendous incident was hidden inside the man himself. Good heavens, Murdoch whispered, his scientific mind racing to comprehend mechanics of such a peculiar event. But I do not understand the reason why. Could someone be wishing you harm, Miss Hart? If they were, they would not do it here, she replied with logical precision. Well, I guess this would be the best way of hiding the cause of death. Not yours, but whoever was brought in. I suppose the fact that you are still here means the Board of Control has no objection to your neighborhood safety program? Murdoch asked, shifting the conversation to highlight her positive contributions to the community. To the contrary, Miss Hart smiled, a glimmer of pride in her eyes. They and I applaud the initiatives. Neighbors caring for neighbors. Suddenly, the heavy doors of the morgue swung open, and Mayor Vaughn stepped inside, his presence bringing a chill to the room. The very definition of good governance is to keep government out of the business of the people, he proclaimed smoothly. What a horrendous incident. I am truly glad you are unharmed, Miss Hart. Thank you. And you, Mr. Murdoch, what brings you here? I would have thought you would be off somewhere enjoying your retirement. Miss Hart, what is the current condition of the other bodies that were in your cold storage? Vaughn inquired, his eyes darting around the room. Largely incinerated, I am afraid, she answered. Well, then I suppose that means their causes of death remain a mystery also, Vaughn said with a touch of unnatural satisfaction. A mystery the active members of the Toronto Constabulary will soon solve. Good day, Mr. Murdoch. Were you at least able to ascertain their identities? Murdoch pressed, unwilling to let the thread go. I said good day, Mr. Murdoch. Vaughn snapped, his facade slipping for a fraction of a second. This morgue is city property, and you are not welcome. Undeterred, Murdoch met with the brilliant Effie Crabtree outside. Mrs. Crabtree, do you have a file? Thank you. She handed it over with a bright, encouraging smile. I cannot be here long. I have to return before they know I am missing. Thank you, Sarah, Murdoch said, acknowledging her bravery. Neither Mr. Colangelo nor the men of Mr. Petrucci, who were taken into custody, are facing charges. They have all been dropped. Where are they now? Are they being held somewhere? They are all free to go on the orders of the mayor, she revealed, shaking her head at the injustice. All right. Anything else? Murdoch asked. Well, there's gossip, she admitted, her tone lightening slightly. Always up for some. The wife of the mayor has moved out of their house. They had the most horrendous fight right in the office. I do not think she can put up with his nonsense any longer. It is just a bunch of shenanigans anyway. Please, I have to get back. We all miss having you around the office. I miss being there, Murdoch replied with genuine warmth, feeling the strong bond of friendship that tied their team together. Do you think you could find out where the wife of the mayor is staying? I will do what I can, she promised before hurrying away. Meanwhile, in a cozy wood-paneled public house across town, the displaced officers of Station House were finding solace in fellowship and lively debate. In my humble opinion, the best goalkeeper in England, and by definition the world, is Teddy Davidson, Constable Higgins declared, raising a glass of sparkling spruce beer. Begone, would you? Constable Crabtree countered with a good-natured laugh. The only lad on the Wednesday we are talking about is Peter Warren. You are only saying that because he is Irish. Exactly, Higgins grinned. Anyway, why waste your breath on the Wednesday when the only team we are supporting are the Glasgow Celtic? All the best Scottish players play in England. That is why Celtic have got a terrible team at the moment. Another patron, Mr. Ryan, chimed in, you might be right about that. Especially when compared to the one that lost 10-0 to the Villa, Crabtree noted. There's no need to go on about that. Ryan, Higgins sighed dramatically. That was a one-off event, a debacle. That will not happen again. Well, at least the Celtic play for the right side, do they not? And there is no need to go on about religion either. Chief Constable Brackenreed announced as he approached the table, his authoritative yet comforting presence instantly grounding the group. That is one way to ruin a good sport. By the way, Crabtree, what happened to your hair? This? Crabtree chuckled, running a hand over his freshly trimmed head. Another story of Samson. Oh, look who is here. Murdoch entered the pub, greeted by warm smiles and hearty handshakes. Everyone turns to drink eventually, especially when left idle. Brackenreed joked. What are you having, Murdoch? I will have a spruce beer. Please, Murdoch answered. A spruce? What the devil is that? He is still a teetotaler, Brackenreed laughed. I will make you a proper cup of tea. It is the best I can do. Thank you. Murdoch smiled, appreciating the familiar banter. So how'd you find me, sir? Your wife as much as drew me a map, Brackenreed replied. What is it you want to say? Henry? Who says I want to say anything? All right. I thought we already had him removed. Is that what you are asking? The oppressive reach of the corrupt mayor extended beyond the police force, affecting the very pillars of free speech in the city. Miss Cherry, what is this all about? Officers from Station House 1 shut down my newspaper, Did they give a reason? Orders from Mayor Vaughn. He said my newspaper is a threat to peace, order, and good government. Is it? Well, I should hope so. Is that not the role of the press? Have they laid charges? Not yet, but they will if I return to publishing. We need to get rid of that man. Muzzling the free. Press is a first step to dictatorship. Anything to write for me? The resolve of the group only strengthened in the face of adversity. Seems we will be going to dinner tonight. Henry, Bobby Morano made a reservation at Dario's. I will be able to try the duck. While reviewing the scandalous files provided by the mayor's wife, the team discovered a web of deceit among the city's highest officials. Try and have a look at this. Alderman Pearson. He is a cheeky chap, twice weekly visits to Madam. Sophie's. So you are familiar with that place. My only business as a private investigator was tailing delinquent husbands. And did Higgins ever? No. Henry only ate at fine restaurants and shopped for ridiculously expensive curios. The rest of the time he simply idled. Idled? He did absolutely nothing. He would sit at a park and stare into nothing. Seems Counsel McGargle is a proper scoundrel. Look at this Williams. He has been paying the lodgings of 3 separate young women, something I imagine he would not want public. So there is no way to link Chadwick Bond to the bombing at the morgue, nor to the deaths of the men who were found inside. Bond would not get his hands dirty or bloody, and yet someone did all of this. Any idea who? I am leaning toward a man named Bobby Morano, a hired man with no particular allegiance to anyone so long as he gets paid. Seems the city of Toronto has a paid individual on the books. Yes, right. So the only way to get Vaughn is to tarnish the reputation of every man on city council. So, same. I will be taking that now. Are you sure? I am aware. I have a very secure safe at home. Gentlemen, the pursuit of truth led them to the bustling dining room of Dario's, a restaurant known for its exquisite culinary offerings and, occasionally, its shadowy patrons. There is a reservation for Morano. Mr. Bobby Morano? Who is asking? We are friends of a man named Tucker. Oh, yes, him. Red-headed fellow. Kind of simple. How is he doing? He is deceased. That is so. That is a shame. He was young, was he not? What do you want with me? I have a couple of questions about what you have been up to recently. You two used to be officers. Did you not? You looking for work or something? No. You know, I have seen you around. You are the fellow who signs his wife's name to every bill. You are a legend around here. The kept man of the moving picture stuff. I wonder what she gets up to when you are enjoying yourself in here. You watch your mouth. Are you just curious about the incident at the morgue? Oh. Yes, I heard about that. Seems like a lot of effort for nothing. What do you mean? Killing people who are already dead. Do not do that. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the restaurant shifted dramatically. The patron they were questioning slumped forward, his face pale, his breath shallow. You all right? Surge, get some help. Wake up. You cannot be sleeping here. Get up. The sudden turn of events left the detectives reeling, but their trained instincts quickly took over. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, danger crept out from the shadows. This is Crabtree. Are you all right? Where is it? What? I had a book. A ledger. It was red. I cannot see anything. Blast. There is no need for that language. I need to find that book. There is nothing around here. The temporary loss of the precious ledger was a setback, but it only fueled their determination to outsmart their adversaries. I have to speak to Chief Constable Brackenreed. Surge said Bobby Morano ate there 3 days a week. Surge? He is a waiter. And you are already on a first-name basis? Surge said Morano always ate the same meal. Ribeye with béarnaise sauce. Was his face swollen when he spoke with him? No. Was he perspiring? Red in the face? Neither. The staff mentioned seeing a man in the kitchen that afternoon. When they asked who he was, he said he was a health inspector. Do we have a description of this man? No. I will talk to Surge. Do say hello to him for me. It is hard. Task at hand. Right. The pieces of the puzzle were beginning to form a clear picture. The brilliant medical examiner soon arrived with crucial findings. As soon as I identify the poison, I will let you know. Conditions are still less than ideal. Of course. Excuse me. City Mart? Yes, I will tell him. Chief Constable Brackenreed would like you to meet him at Ryan's. Oh, thank you. Detective, you are enjoying this. Are you not? Murder? You are back on the job. As someone we know likes to say, let the dog see the rabbit. Are you sure you are all right? I have been accident-prone my entire life. It has left me with an extremely hard head. Should I try to contact George? He is in Windsor. Meeting with someone from back home. Did you get a look at who bumped into you? No. We searched for the Red Ledger. No trace of it. The team regrouped at the Athenian Bar, an establishment that stood as a testament to the resilience and unyielding spirit of the community. I have a question for you. Fire away. When did my bar become a police station? Athenian Bar. This is the last place that Vaughn would look for us. Cheers. You are doing a public service. Well, perhaps somebody other than the chief constable could order a drink. Might be a public service, but it is not a charity. I will take a gimlet. That is the wrong establishment for that. Oh, it must be a bit of a shock. You being within the walls of a place like this. I have been inside worse. Oh, I sense that there might be a bit of a story there. Mr. Ryan, if you would, please, I think I am being hospitable, considering you threw my wife in jail. Well, your wife did murder someone. Well, there is that. Please, Miss Hart, Mr. Ryan, what have you, Miss Hart? The medical examiner delivered her expert analysis with characteristic precision. Mr. Morano died from ingesting a lethal amount of ricin. The sauce was heavily spiced, so he would not have noticed the taste. So Morano is a dead end, literally. It had nothing to do with the assault on Mrs. Crabtree. It is possible that whoever poisoned Mr. Morano was also responsible for the attack. That seems likely. So Vaughn got someone else to do his dirty work. Typical. A real man carries his own bags. Is that not right? Higgins? Still, we know we have members of the Board of Control we can lean on to get rid of Vaughn, but without Vaughn's naughty papers, we have nothing. It was a moment of profound realization. The path to justice sometimes required unconventional methods, guided always by a steadfast moral compass. Well, it seems there is only one conclusion here. What is that? In order to solve a crime, we are going to need to commit a minor one. Bingo! All right. And you go. You stay right here. Do what? Stand guard. Stay guard. The scene that unfolded was a marvel of ingenuity and teamwork. Detective Murdoch, a pioneer of modern investigative techniques, unveiled his latest array of technological marvels. What a mess. Miss it? Well, sir, I must confess, I certainly do. Well, if things go well, you will be back here soon enough. No time for reminiscing, gentlemen. As the detective said, we are breaking the rules here. So let us get the surveillance equipment and get out. It appears Vaughn's men have left most of my things behind. Sir, if you could gather up these surveillance cameras, there should be about half a dozen. Yes, this is the parabolic microphone I was working on. And what do you propose we do with all this stuff? We will use it. Sir, you cannot very well catch a rat without setting a trap. You cannot do that. I most certainly cannot. The plan was put into motion with precision and unwavering purpose. The team fanned out across the city, planting their ingenious devices in locations known to be frequented by the corrupt officials. As well as holding the position of mayor, I am also active chief constable. As such, I am responsible for the allocation of police resources. So you are as you wish. The grand doors of the dining room swung open, revealing the familiar faces of his former colleagues. Gentlemen, would you like a seat? Serge, could you set another couple places, please? We are not staying. There has been an incident. We may have a chance to get Vaughn. So what do you say? Higgins, Do you want to remain a kept man, or do you want to do something useful with your life? I am doing something with my life. Sir, I am enjoying this. Come on. Murdoch, this one is probably no use to us anyway. Wait, Ruth is getting tired of me laying about the house anyway. Garçon, to my usual hotel, please. The team was slowly but surely reforming, united by an unshakable bond and a shared commitment to restoring justice to their beloved city. The investigation took a fascinating turn when Murdoch received an unexpected visitor. The elegant and fiercely intelligent wife of the corrupt mayor stepped into the room, her presence commanding immediate respect. How's business? Well, let's just say I almost got my second case yesterday. But one look at an Asian man. So, booming. My only client so far has been Bat One's wife. My wife, she likes to keep tabs on me. Tabs? On me? Why? If I could be blunt, your wife's reasoning is somewhat beyond me, but she does pay well. The conversation soon shifted to the grave matters at hand. Are you looking for my help? We are going after Mayor Vaughn. Interested? He fired me. Of course I am interested, but he is a slippery fish. You heard about the explosion at the morgue? I did. We believe Vaughn was behind that. We know Vaughn has been behind a lot of things, but nothing sticks to the man. I thought you were more of a fighter than that, Albert. Right then, we will let you get back to your business of watching this one make a fool of himself. Sir, I have not been named. While we try and take down Vaughn, there is no try. What is that? There is no try. Only do. I heard that once. A long time ago. Let me pack up. The spirit of teamwork and determination was infectious. Roberts? Yes, sir. Keeping out of trouble? Best I can. Teddy, how would you like your old job? Yes. I think you would do it for free. The focus returned to the elusive suspect. Bobby Morano is a hired killer, capable of putting a bomb in a body. Right now, he is our best chance. Miss Hart, I know you have yet to complete your investigation, but do you have an approximate time of the exploding man? I would say in the last 24 hours. Right, so Morano could still be in town. Right now, finding him is our top priority. Roberts, go and see if you can round up the rest of the constables. Yes, sir. It was then that the mayor's wife made her bold proposition. Gentlemen, starting without me, you said you may have found something at the Crown Attorney's office. Yes, we all missed you terribly. Mayor Vaughn has seen to it that all the men in custody have. The charges against them dropped, but I have no idea where they are now. You are not telling us anything we do not know already. Is that so? Well, do you also know that Vaughn has himself a new enemy? One more formidable than any he has ever met. Who is that? Thank you so much for the sparkling water, you handsome gentleman, she said with a charming, disarming smile. So, I heard you wanted to go after my husband. Well, I am here to help you take the scoundrel down. How can you help us, Mrs. Vaughn? I no longer go by that name. Noel will do. That is, if I can call you William. You can call me Tommy. That is all right. Noel, what can you tell me about your husband's involvement in this recent explosion at the city morgue? I saw him reading a newspaper account, and he chuckled. Is that it? He did mention something about a Bobby Morano being a devious fellow. But I hardly listened. I was preparing to leave him. And you say you want to help us take down your husband. Do you have something you can offer us? Well, there are his naughty papers. Naughty papers? You will not get Mr. Vaughn by going after him directly. You need the board control to want to take him down. Does not explain what these naughty papers are. You are a Jew. Are you not? Chadwick kept a list of every illegal thing done by every member of the board. You threaten to go public with their indiscretions, and they will oust my husband. Do you have this list? We could get our hands on it. And what do you want from all of this? I want to see my husband humiliated and destroyed. That is all. I will bring them to you, William. I will just need your address, Tommy. Oh, it is probably best if they go to Mrs. Crabtree's office. if it is evidence. I would hate to have to face accusations of tampering. Shame, but as you like. I will walk you out. I can walk you out. That is all right. Gently. She is very funny. The ethical complexities of their undertaking weighed gently on Murdoch's principled conscience. But the overarching goal of restoring peace and integrity to the city guided his steps. So what do you think? Murdoch? I would hate to risk the reputation of every member of City Council. Vaughn's list could be all lies. Even if they are, we can still use them in our favor. I need a drink. You are not comfortable with all this. Well, if it is all true, yes, of course. But I am not willing to take Chadwick Vaughn's word for it. We need to find Bobby Morano. An unexpected ally emerged from the ranks of the florists. I might be able to help with that. You? His name is Robert Morano. He goes by Bobby. I am more than familiar with him. He is in here all the time. 18-ounce ribeye drenched in béarnaise sauce. Recently? Not in the last few days. He said something about a job he was looking forward to doing. If you see him again soon, please call us, sir. Yes, if you do see him. Please call Mr. Morano. I see. Are you with the police? Oh, once upon a time. Currently, I am a florist. Is that so? Well, we do have some plants here in dire need of attention. Well, perhaps you could minister to them. You scratch my back, I will scratch yours. That could be arranged. Search. It is Llewellyn. Thank you very much. The city, usually a place of predictable rhythms, had proven itself full of surprises. This world is a funny place. You would think it is a risky place. Instead, it is a morgue. I am fine. You think someone may have been targeting you. Ah, Miss Hart, all is well. I trust? Yes. No ruffians causing trouble in your establishment? Not as of late. Good. Very good. It seems your neighborhood safety program is working. That, and the increased police presence, which we thank you for. Well, you know me. It is important all the citizens of this great city are treated equally, no matter what race. The conversation inevitably circled back to the heart of the matter. Speaking of which, I heard the disgraced members of Station House were in your establishment last evening. Yes, they were. Just a friendly reunion? I think so, and I believe my wife made an appearance. Do you know why? I think she just happened to be there by chance. She said you two had a disagreement. She wanted to cool off. I doubt she could do that. I know they always run hot. I have always had a weakness for a woman like that. Well, if there is anything you think I should be aware of, please let me know. I shall be discussing the allocation of police officers at the next council meeting. Might be time to snip some loose ends. We never should have gotten into business with that man. I think it is best we stay on his good side. The devil does not have a good side. Back at their makeshift headquarters, the brilliant minds of constabulary gathered around a modest wooden table, transforming it into a hub of forensic innovation. And you eat off this table? One asked, eyeing the scattered remnants of evidence. Of course. These things came from inside a human body. Nothing a bit of soap and water cannot solve. So, what do you know? I am certain that these are all pieces from the device that exploded in the morgue. Is there any way we can find out who planted it? I had hoped to find finger marks or something, but no luck. Good heavens! This is ridiculous. We are the best detectives in Toronto, and we sat around a kitchen table. It is not the tools. Chief Constable, it is the skill of the men using them. That may be true, but as of now, the only thing on our side is Vaughn's soon-to-be ex-wife. But a woman scorned is a formidable opponent to error. Be careful with these, and you be careful as well. Put me through to William Murdoch at the Regent Arms.